It's another great day in Denver. So are you sure you want to live in Commerce City? Today we're going to tell you all the pros and all the cons about living in this great town called Commerce City.
Okay, I'm Michelle Wise.
And I'm Cheryl Crown.
And we are
living in Denver, Colorado.
If you're considering making a move to Denver, Colorado, or you live here already and you're looking at moving locally, then you've come to the right place.
Because we live here, we can give you the inside scoop on everything Denver. So please be sure to subscribe below or tap the bell for notifications so you will be the first one to know the next time we drop a new video.
And look, while we have so much fun making these videos, we are realtors here in the state of Colorado. Our intent with these videos is to inform you about the various cities in and around the Denver metro area, so that when you decide to make a move or you're already ready now, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we're here to help you.
Yes, and we get calls and emails every day, and we personally respond to each and every one. So regardless of your time frame, we're totally here for you.
Let's go.
Here we go. Okay, so Commerce City, Colorado. There's lots of great information that we're going to share with you today. Firstly, the population of Commerce City is roughly 61,000 people, and that is growing
quickly.
Rapidly. Yes. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the Denver metro area. Yeah, and we're going to get more into that when we talk about the pros and cons, but we just wanted to give you some general details about Commerce City before we get started. The median home value is $364,000, and as you'll see in our vlog, there's like an old Commerce City and a new Commerce City. So the 364 it's skewed a little bit because you have the older homes coupled with the newer homes. So just be aware of that when you're looking in the neighborhoods in Commerce City, that it will vary based on the location.
Yeah, and we kind of alluded and joked to that at the beginning of this video that, Commerce City for many, many years was straight industrial. There was very few homes. There's an oil refinery, a dog food plant, so it's got a history of not being the best place to live. But we are here to tell you different here today, because there are a lot of pros to living in Commerce City. Every place has a few cons, and we'll touch on those too, but it's definitely changed. So with that, old Commerce City versus new Commerce City, that's where you're gonna see a little bit of price discrepancy. If you're looking at the old homes, those are obviously not in a nearly as desirable part of town, and their price points are lower because of that. But if you get out to the newer sections, it's a phenomenal place to live.
Absolutely, and I was actually surprised to learn that the median home income is about $87,000 in Commerce City. So right there, that shows you it's a lot of young professionals and people that are first-time home buyers and that type of thing, I think really gravitate to that area.
Yeah, there's a lot of families out there, and great community to raise kids out there.
Absolutely, and the school system, although it doesn't have the greatest reputation, or hasn't in the past, it's improving every year, and they are building a 5th high school in Adams County in Commerce City. So I think that's a pretty cool statistic as well.
And something to think about Adams County is it's much bigger. Commerce City is a very small portion of Adams County. Adams County covers multiple cities. So when you're looking at some of those school district numbers, it's really important to dive deep into the actual specific school versus maybe the entire county. And just because a school doesn't get the best ratings on some of these websites, doesn't mean your child's not going to get a good education. So there's a lot of other things that go into that. So it's important to dive deep if that's important to you on what you're looking at in a specific neighborhood or feeder area versus the big expansion of the entire county.
Yeah, totally. And the percent of home ownership is 75%. So again, a really great statistic. If you're looking to buy a home, most of the people that live there currently, 75% of them own a home already. So
Or, as a side note, if you are looking to buy an investment property,
yes,
that might be a really good place to buy an investment property as well.
True.
Because people that want to live in Commerce City and want to rent or maybe can't buy at this point, there's not a lot of rentals on the market because it is so highly owner occupied.
Right.
It might be a really good place to have an investment property.
Absolutely, that's a really good point. Okay, so pro number 1. We're gonna talk about something that's really pretty cool. Michelle and I are both huge animal lovers, and we wanted to tell you about the Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. That's a mouthful. So the National Wildlife Refuge is actually one of the largest urban refuges in the country. It's a sanctuary away from the hustle and bustle of busy urban life, where time moves at nature's pace. You can see buffalo, you can see fox, you can fish. There's archery skills, archery range, there's a visitor center, wildlife activities. They actually have 20 miles of hiking trails, biking on select trails, and there's an 11-mile drive through the wildlife. It's an auto tour through the wildlife refuge, so you can see all the animals and check that out. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I want to go do that drive. I've never even known that existed.
I know, exactly, and you've lived here your whole life.
I
know. So yes, I think that's a cool con. Pro. That's a great pro because it's very rare and it's unique to Commerce City. Okay, the other pro we wanted to talk about is if you want new, Commerce City it could be for you because it's mostly new builds right now. The new builds there's a wide range of price points. They start at about $400,000. They go all the way up to about $900,000. That's the base price, and things get added on if you make upgrade or choose upgrades and that type of thing.
But it's hard to find a $400,000 new build home anywhere here in the Denver metro area.
Yes.
With it having so many new build communities, they compete against each other. So there's a lot of opportunity to get into a house in Commerce City that's a new build.
Yes.
And even if it's not brand new, so many of the houses, I don't know the percentage, but a majority of them I would think are all relatively new. So unless you're in the older parts of Commerce City or some of the original outskirt areas, some of those houses could be 20 years, but I'd say the majority of the houses are newer than 20 years old, if not 10 or 5 years old.
Absolutely. So. Well, just from the blog tour that we did recently, it shows you exactly. Most of the things we looked at were 2022, 2023. The neighborhood that's in there is called Reunion, and it's gigantic. It's got so many amenities and so many great offerings for new first-time home buyers and that type of thing. And you can also downsize or upsize, up to 7 bedrooms we found in our research. So there's definitely a wide array.
There's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. So that kind of goes hand in hand with affordability in general. So also when we were researching Commerce City, currently the average listing price for a home there is $425,000. Again, as I mentioned earlier, that could be skewed a bit because of the old south of 104 or 104th, I should say, and the north, which tends to be the newer area. So just keep that in mind when you're looking, but the average currently is about $425,000.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we learned is there are a lot of people who live there who work at the airport because the accessibility is amazing. It's only about 15 minutes to DIA, so if you work at the airport, if you travel a lot, it's very convenient. It's, hop, skip, and a jump to get to the airport.
Straight shot,
right.
With not a lot of traffic because traffic's going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Unless you're driving to the airport.
Right, exactly. So, cons, do you want to jump on the cons? Okay.
So, probably the biggest con is that Commerce City sits in a metro district. The majority of Commerce City is in a metro district. So metro districts, whether you're familiar with them or not, are a huge beast in and amongst themselves. So we could actually probably do a whole video on what it is to live in a metro district. But with that, you're tending to pay a little bit higher fees, higher taxes, higher community fees. And so if you want more information on that, it's a lot to get into here, but reach out. We can fill you in on all of that. But you are going to have a little bit more ongoing costs with some of the houses in Commerce City because of them being in a metro district.
Yes, and in general, Denver's average tax is about 2% on new home sales, and Commerce City is about 4.5%. So it's more than double. So definitely, you can get a more affordable home. And I think their plan is to, reinvest that money into Commerce City so that it becomes a place.
Which you can see they're doing.
Absolutely.
It's grown, and they've added a ton of infrastructure and activities. So you kind of get what you pay for too.
Right, and big box stores, they just got a new Target. I think the amenities will come, and you're basically reinvesting in your community, which in the long run is going to help your property value.
Right. And that kind of brings us to another con when you said big box stores and so forth. Because this whole portion of Commerce City is newer, and they are growing the infrastructure and the development. Currently, there's not a ton of business, nightlife. It's not a town that's full of all these restaurants. They do have some. They do have, fast food, auto stores, banks, they have a Walmart, they're getting a Target.
Target's
they have a
Target. There now, yep.
Yeah, so, you know, it's all coming, but if that's something, you know, nightlife, they might have a bar or two here or there, but it's not gonna be, you're gonna have to go elsewhere to go actually out of Commerce City into Denver or the surrounding areas to kind of experience some of that. So, you know, you may like that. You may like not having to have that part, you know, of the town that you live in. But if you do, then that's probably one of the cons of Commerce City.
Yeah, and in our vlog tour, we ended the day at State Highway, a restaurant, which is locally owned. It was one of a few that we could find that were locally owned because we really try to support local.
There wasn't a lot of mom and pop. It's a lot of
franchises,
and
right?
chains.
Exactly. But it was delicious.
And the last one, I think, you know, because we talked about the proximity to the airport, is depending on the day and the flight patterns and the flight traffic, you are so close to the airport that some days, you know, the planes are way up high, but sometimes depending on where they're coming in pretty low, right over the house. So air traffic and air traffic noise can be a deterring factor about living in Commerce City. And there's nothing you can do about it. Either you embrace it and you just accept that fact, or, you know, you may have to want to look somewhere else.
Okay, so
I think that kind of covers it today.
Pros and cons.
It's a great place overall. You can't go wrong. And affordability is a huge key in Commerce City. So keep that in mind.
It's come a long way. When I Googled, you know, great things about Commerce City, it was old, but there was an article about, you know, the oil refinery, and, you know, the new is, oh my gosh, you can get new homes for affordable prices and, you know, accessibility and all those great things that we just shared. So
yeah, and check out our map tour that we're going to do on Commerce City as well, because in there I'll show you the various two kind of sides of Commerce City that have the older part with the industrial section and then the newer, more residential part. So if you're interested, check out that video.
Yeah, and the Refuge actually separates the two. So everything north of the Refuge is new and everything south pretty much is old. So anyhow, well, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, again, please subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications. And we look forward to sharing more information with you in our next video. Have a great day. Peace and love.